Reports are coming out from Yahoo Sports and SNY that Isaiah Hartenstein is now expected to re-sign with the New York Knicks in NBA free agency. But also, Jake Fischer is reporting that the New York Knicks have been in trade talks with other teams, and they circle around Mitchell Robinson. So before we break down the quotes, I give you my thoughts and analysis. I want to hear from all of you watching today's video in the comments section. And if you could only have one of these big guys back for next season, who would it be? Type 55 for Isaiah Hartenstein or type 23 for Mitchell Robinson. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's dive into it. Jake Fischer says Isaiah Hartenstein at this moment is now generally expected to return to the New York Knicks. He also is reporting that the Knicks have contacted teams about moving Mitchell Robinson. A lot to unpack on today's show. Good news, though, that Isaiah Hartenstein is expected to be back. A lot of concern was really talked about on this show and in the comment section of him going and signing with the Oklahoma City Thunder, but he sounds like he will be returning. Ian Begley, though, he doubled down on the report from Jake Fischer. We're talking about Robinson and a potential trade, saying, I heard something similar to the Yahoo report on New York Knicks Mitchell Robinson. The Knicks, in Knicks talks about potential trades, Robinson's name has come up. He doesn't think the New York Knicks are fully committed to moving him, but his salary of 2 years left on a 4-year, $60 million descending contract is a valuable chip in potential deals. So you got that from Jake Fischer. You got this from Ian Begley. And then I want to go back to what Fischer had to say about Isaiah Hartenstein, because there was a lot of talk about the Thunder, and he noted that, saying the Thunder were once considered a possible spot for a short-term balloon payment with Isaiah Hartenstein, frequently labeled by league personnel as a potential recipient. The Caruso deal doesn't entirely eliminate that possibility, although multiple figures with knowledge of OKC's thinking indicated the Thunder are far more likely to pursue a situational reserve big man to support Chet Holmgren in the front court, as opposed to dramatically shifting the effective five-out style of the Thunder's overall offense. And if this is true, that Hartenstein is going to put pen to paper and come back to the New York Knicks, this is a massive get for this basketball team. There was a lot of thought of, when it first came out, 4 years, $72 million, that is plenty enough to sign Isaiah Hartenstein. Then there was rumors that came out he could sign a 2-year, $50 million deal or a 4-year, $100 million deal. But if he's going to come back and play for the Knicks, they are going to be a much better basketball team because he is on it. Look at what he did just over this past season. Remember, in his second season with the Knicks, he started as a guy that came off the bench as Robinson was that starting center. Averages 6 points, 6 rebounds, 1.3 assists, and not even a block and steal per night in limited action. But once he became a starter, which he did 49 times this year, he's giving you 9 points, almost 10 boards, 3.5 offensive rebounds. They're running their offense through him a little bit more, 3.1 dimes, and he's giving you 1.2 blocks per game and 1.3 steals per game. And I think when Robinson's off the floor and Hartenstein is on it, the offense has just opened up a little bit more. That dribble handoff threat, Hartenstein possesses the ability to find backdoor cutters and really just be another distributor of the basketball, has somewhat unlocked the potential of this offense. And we saw that because in the 49 games the New York Knicks had Hartenstein as their starting five, they were 32-27. One of the best records over a 49-game stretch in the NBA this past season. And when you talk about, well, Marshall, is he even worth this type of money? He only averages 9 points and 9 rebounds. This is what the contract would look like. And I think this is a very fair deal. This is if he does sign that 4-year, $72.5 million deal. He'd be making $16.2 million this year, $17.4 next year, and then $18.8 and $20.1. With the starting salary of $16.2 million, he would be the 15th highest paid center in the NBA for the 2024-2025 season. And I think that is a perfect spot for him. I think he's at minimum a top 15 center in this league. And anytime you can really match up the talent with the cost of a player as perfectly as this, it makes a lot of sense. I'm a big fan of the deal. Hopefully it does come true that he will re-sign. I don't think Fischer would say it unless he knew or had a really strong indication that he was going to re-sign, but I am excited about it. and I know all of you are as well. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, because when and if Hartenstein resigns or does not, or Robinson gets traded or does not, or anything happens, we're going to break it down on this channel. And when the Knicks make a move, we make a video, and we're going to be going live on the channel as well. So if you want free, informative, entertaining coverage every single day on your New York Knicks, hit that subscribe button. Coming up next, we're going to break down that report in totality of Mitchell Robinson supposedly being on the trading block for the New York Knicks. Does it make sense? Should they do it? I'll share my thoughts in a second, but you need to go to chatsports.com/realknicks. That is chatsports.com/realknicks, and get yourself a Real One t-shirt. Support the show. Be a real one. Rep some Chat Sports gear as well. We have a blue shirt. We have a black shirt. I'll make sure that link is clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. All righty. Jake Fischer's quote again. The Knicks have contacted opposing teams about moving Mitchell Robinson. We showed that Ian Begley quote as well, his tweet where he said, I have heard the same, as did Yahoo Sports. And this isn't the first time the New York Knicks have really entertained a trade for Mitchell Robinson. This is the third summer in a row that they have dangled this man's name in trade talks. They did it for Donovan Mitchell. They did it for Paul George. And now they're doing it again this summer. 2022 was Donovan Mitchell. 2023 was Paul George. And now we know, once again, the New York Knicks are trading him. And I would absolutely hate to see him go. Mitch is one of my favorite players on this team, man. I just have a lot of respect for players that do the dirty work. It's easy for someone to recognize a scorer in this league as a good player. But what Robinson does and the effect he has on a basketball game when it comes to being one of the best shot blockers in the NBA, one of the best offensive rebounders since Dennis Rodman, I just have a little bit more of a soft spot for that type of player. Who's doing the things, one, that not many people on this earth can do, and not many things that the people in this league want to do. So I will always respect what he brings to this basketball team. You look at the contract that he's on right now. It's a descending contract, meaning the highest he got paid was the first year, and then it goes down year by year. He's going to be making $14.3 million this year and then $12.9 million. And I think the reason the Knicks are looking to trade Robinson outside of the durability concerns are, do we want to pay $30 million this season to the center position and then $32 million almost, or $30 million, $60 million? Do you want to pay the center position $60 million over the next two seasons? I'm not sure that's what they want to do, and that's why I think they're trying to make a trade for Robinson to fill a void at another position. There will be a void to fill, though, if Robinson's not on this team, because you look at what he's done, and you just remember, like, this guy was on a depoy type of season before he had that ankle injury, and he was ruled out for the year by some people. We told you that was never going to happen. He worked his tail off, got back into shape, and he came back and he helped the Knicks. And then sadly, he got hurt again. And that's another reason I think the Knicks are entertaining the idea of moving on from him, because he played in just 30 games this year, 59 games last year, and 31 games in 2021. That's 3 years of the last 4 that he didn't even play 60 games. And if you're going to be making $15 million and you're going to double down on the center position, you just need him to be more available than that. And I'm 100% worried about that. He's just a big dude, man. And I don't know if I want to say he's injury prone, but I'm not going to get up here and say he's the most durable player in the league. The evidence is out there. The guy misses a lot of time, and sometimes the best ability is availability, and I just wish he was more available, because I can never get the Cavs series last year out of my mind when I think of Robinson and the player that he could be. He went toe-to-toe, face-to-face with Jared Allen and outplayed him for 5 games. Jared Allen is an all-star in this league, or has been an all-star. I don't think he's an all-star caliber player. But Mitchell Robinson absolutely dominated him. And in that Game 5, where the Knicks clinched the series and moved on to round 2, the guy had 13 points, 18 rebounds, 11 offensive rebounds, 3 blocks, and 2 steals. He was the most dominant player on the court. And I don't think the Knicks would have won that series if they didn't get the efforts that they got from Mitch. So that would stink. And the Knicks have really built their identity around him. Rough, rugged. They have their whole defensive identity around a athletic shot-blocking big like him. Can sometimes switch on the screens, and Hartenstein does that as well. He doesn't protect the rim, in my opinion, nearly as well as Mitch, but I do think he moves his feet better on the perimeter. But also, the way they've crafted their offense is they want extra possessions. That's why Robinson has been such an integral part to this team. He's the best offensive rebounder in the league by far, and that's why the Knicks' offensive rating is usually at the top of the league, because those extra possessions that he creates. Overall, when you talk about trading Mitchell Robinson, the only way I would really be happy about it, which I'm not going to be happy about it because, you know what, I got a lot of love for Mitch, is I really only want to move him in a trade for a star. Like, I think he'd be a part of a package that is Deuce McBride, Robinson, first-round picks, throw in Bogey. You've got the salary, you've got young upside and talent and picks, and you can go get a star in this league. I don't know if the Knicks are going to do that. I also don't hate the idea of them using Robinson as a trade chip to move up in the NBA draft. I don't hate that. They're getting inside the top 5, top 6, and they're selecting a player that they're absolutely in love with. But I don't think you just trade him to trade him. Like, I'm not in that camp. I'm not riding that wave. He's a good player. He makes this team better. But if you can get another player that makes this team even better, you might just have to do the deal. One more time. If you could only pick one of these players to come back, who would it be? I heart Mitch. Let me know your thoughts. And hit me up on social media. It's going to be a crazy, crazy offseason. And another place you can find out about the Knicks all day, every day is on my social media, at @MarshallGreen_ on Twitter, as well as IG. We'll be back live on the channel in a couple of hours on Friday, so hit that sub button.